What is going on, you guys? Bashtian here. Today I want to go ahead and bring you guys one of the coolest decks I've played in a while, and that is the World Legacy World Chalice deck profile. Now the reason I want to go ahead and bring this to you guys right now is because we just got Firewall Dragon finally unbanned off the Forbidden Limited list. Of course, it has been errata, so it can only do, you can only use the effect once while the card's on the field. But I think it's just great to be able to go ahead and finally be able to go ahead to play this deck at its full power for what it currently is. At least it really gets you thinking of what this deck once was, which was I believe it won the World Championship back in the day. I think I made a video on it 2-3 years back, and you know that deck played cards like the Brilliant Fusion Engine, which is now beyond banned for an additional normal summon, which is absolutely insane. But the deck can do enough on its own to where you don't really need cards like that, I want to say, but it, that does make it a lot more consistent. And that's the pretty much issue with this deck right now, is that as powerful boards as this deck can really make, it is very susceptible to hand traps, especially Nibiru or Droll. And also the biggest issue with this deck is that you do have a higher chance of breaking than most other decks. If I had to say, it's a lot like it's similar to like a Blue Eyes, where it has a very high ceiling as to what it can actually put out, but you are going to break a decent amount playing this deck, unfortunately. But this was the most consistent build that I could make, and I just want to go ahead and share this with you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, starting off with our 5 vanillas that we play in the deck. First off is Chosen by the World Chalice. Now, why do we play Chosen instead of any other of the World Chalice normal monsters? Because you can turbo this card out with cards like Emergency Teleport. Now also, you can put Chosen from the World Chalice from your hand back into the deck using a card like Saryuja's effect, which keeps your Emergency Teleport live. So that's really the only reason, because it's super easy to turbo out, very easy to go ahead and just special summon out. The next best option is probably going to be the level 4 Warrior. I completely forgot what it was called. Let me look it up real quick. But yeah, the level 4 Warrior, beckoned by the World Chalice, 1800 attack, level 4 monster, is probably the second best, just because you can, of course, search it with reinforcement of the army. But I digress. So we play 1 Chosen by the World Chalice, 1 Happy Lover. So this card actually comes up quite a bit. It's funny enough. I think this is actually like an $8 card, because it was only printed in, I believe it was the McDonald's packs, like 15-16 years ago, and it never got a reprint. So if we ever get any type of specific fairy support, I really want to have a reprint of Happy Lover. That'd be really nice. A level 2 fairy monster, you basically go ahead and use this with Transmodify to make sure you're able to go ahead and summon out your Agent of Creation Venus. Now, why is it important to have Happy Lover? Because Transmodify is going to tribute the monster that you have on board. Not tribute, will send to the graveyard. So you don't want to use that with a Mystical Shine Ball, because then you have less monsters on your board. So you activate Unexpected Die, you summon Happy Lover, activate Transmodify to summon out Agent of Creation Venus, and then you still have 3 Mystical Shine Balls in your deck to go ahead and summon out and do your plays. Next, besides 3 Mystical Shine Ball, you play 1 Gamma Seal. This is going to be the best option for this deck. I mean, Gamma Seal with the Kyoto Waterfront is absolutely insane, because Saryuja can go ahead and summon it for free. You don't need to play any more Kaijus. However, I would recommend potentially playing 2 Gamma Seals, just because there are times where maybe Saryuja, either the effect gets negated or your Saryuja just, gets sent to the graveyard, whatever it might be. But Gamma Seal is definitely going to have to be a card that you want to go ahead and play at 1 if you want to get the maximize the value of this entire deck. Just in case you guys don't know, Gamma Seal does actually have an effect where when your opponent activates a card or effect except Gamma Seal the Turtle Kaiju, you can, quick effect, you can remove 2 Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field. If you negate the activation, banish that card. So it's not a hard once per turn. So essentially, whenever your opponent activates the effect, you can take any 2 Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field, negate it, and banish it, which is absolutely insane with Kyoto Waterfront. Anytime that a card is sent from the field to the graveyard, or when a card is sent Yeah, from the field to the grave, you gotta place a kaiju counter on this, and this actually searches your Gamma Seal, which is absolutely insane. So that's why you're gonna go ahead and really maximize the potential of this deck by playing 1 Gamma Seal, 2 Kia, 2 Waterfronts. Next, you're gonna play 2 Parallel Exceed. Any link-based deck's gonna be able to go ahead and really maximize the value of this card. You're not really gonna be exceeding with this card, but it does give you 2 free monsters on board when there are effect monsters, so you are able to go ahead and use them to go into your higher links, which we'll go ahead and get to in just a little bit. Next, you play 3 of your greatest extender in this entire deck, World Legacy World Chalice. If you guys do not know, when this card is normal summon and leaves the field, you can special summon 2 World Chalice monsters, I should say, from your deck, except World Legacy World Chalice. You can go ahead, and this is, you know, the main thing you want to do is you want to normal summon a normal monster, link it off to summon Imduk, then use Imduk's effect to use the additional normal summon, and then you normal summon World Legacy World Chalice, then you link this off into literally whatever, and you special summon 2 free monsters from your deck, so this card equals 3 monsters, so you easily link climb with this card. Absolutely insane. Next, 3 Agent of Creation Venus, really self-explanatory. Pretty much gives you 4 monsters on board for the price of 1,500. And if you are able to activate Pot of Avarice and shuffle all 3 Mystical Shine Balls back into the deck, guess what? You just have 3 more monsters, I should say, for free on your decks. Absolutely one of the most broken cards in this deck. Absolutely insane in the Link era. Now, next is going to be our 3 Herald of Orange Light. We do play Herald of Orange Light because it is a transmodify target, and that's strictly the only reason why you want to go ahead and maximize playing Herald of Orange Light. It does negate, you know, Nibiru, it can negate Ash, Gamma, whatever it might be, so that's really good as well. You do play some other fairies, such as the Mystical Shine Ball, such as the Venus, such as the Lead the World Chalice Fairies, which is the next card that we talk about. So it does have plenty of targets for its actual hand trap effect. However, you are going to be able to use it both ways as a play extender and as defensive card. It's definitely going to be the best hand trap you can play in World Legacy World Chalice. Next, you're going to go ahead and play 3 Lead the World Chalice Fairy. Actually, really cool card. So basically, when you normal special on this card, you can add 1 World Chalice monster from your deck to your hand. So normally, what you want to do is if you open up this instead of the World Legacy World Chalice, you'll normal summon this to search the World Legacy World Chalice. Now you have it in your hand, so you can go ahead and use the effect to continue extending your plays. So definitely go ahead and maximize this card, play it at 3. It is a must. And then the last monster you play in this deck is going to be 3 World Chalice Guard Dragon. Actually, really great card with great synergy with Lead the World Chalice Fairy, because essentially what World Chalice Guard Dragon does, first of all, it is a hand trap. It hasn't come up yet in my testing, but it can. So basically, when a card effect is activated that targets your linked monster, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to negate the activation, destroy that card. But what's most important is this graveyard effect. So you can actually banish this card to special summon any normal monster in your graveyard in defense position to a zone a link monster points to, which is a free monster on board. So the synergy with this is that if you have Lead the World Chalice Fairy in the graveyard, its graveyard effect says you can send 1 monster from your hand or field to the graveyard to add this back to your hand. Adding it back to your hand is completely irrelevant, but what you want to do is you can actually go ahead and send the World Chalice Guard Dragon from your hand or field to the graveyard, add Lead to your hand for the next turn, and then you can activate the World Chalice Guard Dragon effect in the graveyard to banish and special summon a normal monster, which means you can just get to continue extending your plays, which I think is absolutely amazing. So that's going to be it for the monster lineup, guys. We played 23 monsters in the deck. Then we get onto the spells. You play triple unexpected die. We play 5 normal monsters, and normal monsters are really going to be the best way to start off your plays, surprisingly. It's weird. I wish I had more normal monsters in my main deck to play, but I just could not find the space for them. It is really tight as it is, but that is an option for you if you want to play a second Chosen or maybe a Reinforcement of the Army and the Beckoned. Completely up to you. I think, but this is, I think, is the most consistent build that we can possibly ask for with the cards that we're currently given. So next you play Triple Transmodify. I've been talking about this card since the video started. Absolutely busted. You strictly just want to go ahead and summon Agent of Creation Venus with the Transmodify card as such. Next you want to go ahead and play Double Pot of Avarice. This card can come up multiple times in a game. That's why I don't play it at 1, but absolutely nuts. You shuffle all 3 Mystical Shine Balls back into the deck. You get to go ahead and do it all over again. Absolutely crazy. Then you have your 1 Monster Reborn, self-explanatory. World Legacy Succession, self-explanatory. E-Telly, already explained it. 2 Kyoto Waterfronts, again, already explained that as well. Absolutely insane. If you open Kyoto Waterfront, you want to go ahead and activate it immediately so you can start racking up those counters on it. And if you have 3 counters on it, you can go ahead and detach 3 counters to search a kaiju from your deck to your hand. So you search Gamma Seal and you are good to go. Next for the traps, play 4 traps in this deck. You play 3 Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. All this is a free special summon of a normal monster. So we're not playing just 5, we are playing technically 8 normal monsters in the deck, but I digress. Then the last card you're going to go ahead and play in this deck is the World Legacy Sorrow. This is going to be a target for the Lib. Where's Lib? Lib, there he is. The World Keymaster. So with her, you can actually go ahead and search 1 World Legacy spell or trap. So you either search World Legacy Succession or you'll search World Legacy Sorrow depending on what you need for your plays. Either you can continue extending with World Legacy Succession, or you don't want to overextend, so you just go ahead and search the Sorrows. And Sorrow, as you do, is when your opponent activates a spell or trap monster effect while you control a co-linked monster, negate the activation. If you do destroy that card, you can only activate 1 of these cards' name once per turn. It's hard once per turn, but it is a Solemn Judgment essentially. Solemn Judgment / Strike. A little bit of both here and there. So I just think it's a really great card, and you have to go ahead and at least play it at 1, because if you're able to set this on your first turn, you are going to end up, first of all, with at least 1 to 2 co-links minimum per turn, which is absolutely insane, you know, if worst case scenario, right? So you go ahead and set this card, your opponent does whatever they need to do, you negate it. Next turn you should have enough resources to go ahead and just blow out OTK your opponent. But I guess it depends on a whole bunch of different factors. But that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. 40 card main deck. I've seen a lot of people play it at 43, 45 cards, which I get. I mean, there's a lot of cards that I would love to be playing in here. But again, the smaller the deck size, the more consistent you are going to go ahead and be with, you know, your draws, making sure you get the most optimal cards possible, which was what I designed this deck to do. Then when you get to the extra deck, you have 2 Induct the World Chalice Dragon. Insane card. Gives you an additional normal summon for a World Chalice monster. Sent from the field to the graveyard. You can special summon a World Chalice from your hand. Insane. I can't talk on good things about this card. You need to play the 1 Link Spider. It does come up quite a bit as a free monster on board if you have a normal monster in your hand. If not, it is a Link 1 pointing down, which means you're able to go ahead and secure a co-link for yourself, as it is the only Link 1 pointing down that we have in the deck. Next, 1 LP and 1 Pisty. This is pretty much just to go ahead and summon your Guard Dragon from the deck, and that way you go ahead and use those, the Pisty, the LP, your last Guard Dragon as well. And when one monster summons the Saryuja Skuldred, because you can't summon anything that's not a dragon, so you had to summon a dragon monster. Great. That's why we play Saryuja Skuldred. It's a dragon monster. You are good to go from there. Next, you play 1 IP Masquerena, just a good card to have. You never know when you're going to go ahead and need that, you know, whatever it is you might need. Having IP Masquerena in the Lib, actually really broken, because when Lib is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can shuffle a card in the field into the deck, non-targeting. So you can do that on your opponent's turn as well. You play 1 Ib, the World Chalice Priestess for protection. Then you play 1 Aurum. I've really wanted to take this card out, but it's just proven useful time and time again. So 1 is going to be the max and the minimum. You are going to have to play at least 1 of these cards, unfortunately. I feel like there's more beneficial cards, but again, having World Chalice or World Legacy names on your board is going to be really beneficial as well. So it is what it is. And you're going to play 1 Trigate Wizard, of course, Tri-Gate Wizard is still an absolutely amazing card for any type of link-based deck. 1 Ningirsu, the World Chalice Warrior for the draw power. 1 Appaloosa, Access Code Talker, Firewall Dragon. There you go. And then the Saryuja Scoldred. Saryuja Scoldred is a card that I would definitely go ahead and try to play at more than 1. If I cut any card from this deck, from this extra deck, it'd probably be the IP for an extra Saryuja Scoldred. I just think that, you know, there's been multiple times when testing I could really use the second Scoldred, and I have the resources to go ahead and make that with a card like Pot of Avarice. So in the end, it is what you make of it. You know what? As a matter of fact, go ahead and take out the IP and put in the Saryuja Scoldred. I think it's just so much better in the grind game. There's very few times that you're actually gonna end up with IP and lib, but it is an option, so it's up to you which one you prefer. I think personally, executive decision I'm just making right now, I definitely go ahead and recommend playing double Saryuja Scoldred instead of the 1 IP Masquerena. So that's going to be it for the deck profile, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I will be posting a test hands video within the next day or 2, just so you guys can go ahead and see how the deck is supposed to work, what the end boards look like, and what you're overall supposed to be looking for. But if you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like, comment down below what you guys want to see next, and subscribe for more videos, guys. Who's excited for Firewall Dragon being back, even though it got nerfed, but it is what it is. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll go ahead and see y'all in the next one.